We've all been there, right? You sit down, you grab the remote, you fire up your Samsung TV, click on YouTube, and then bam, you see it. That dreaded network error. It is one of the most frustrating little messages in modern life. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the simple step-by-step fixes to get you back to streaming and fast.
Yep, that's the moment. You're all settled in, you're ready to watch your favorite channel, only to get completely stopped in your tracks by that error message. It can just derail your whole evening. But don't worry, the solution is almost always way, way simpler than you'd think. All right, so what is actually going on here? Before we start unplugging stuff and pushing random buttons, it really helps to understand why your TV is even showing you this error in the first place.
You know, this network error almost always boils down to one of just 5 things. It could be some corrupted temporary files, that's what we call the cache, or maybe your internet connection is just a little unstable. It could also be that the app or the TV software is outdated, a problem on YouTube's end, which does happen, or honestly just a random software bug. So our plan is to check these one by one, starting with the easiest stuff first.
Okay, so the very first question we have to answer is a big one. Is this problem with YouTube servers, or is it something on your end, at home? Figuring this out first is going to save you a ton of time and frustration. So let's start with that. First things first, is YouTube down for everyone? Because look, if their servers are offline, no amount of restarting your TV is going to do a single thing. It's super easy to check. Just grab your phone or your computer, open a web browser, and go to a site like downdetector.com. Search for YouTube. Now, if you see this huge sudden spike in reported problems, well, you've got your answer. The issue is on their end. And in that case, really, the only fix is to just be patient and wait for them to sort it. Okay, so let's say Down Detector shows that YouTube is fine. Everything's green. The next logical step is to check your own network. Is your TV actually connected to the internet, and is that connection stable? And thankfully, your Samsung TV has a built-in tool for this. All you have to do is press the home button on your remote, head into your settings, find the network status menu, and it will tell you flat out if it's connected or not. This is the absolute quickest way to either confirm or rule out a simple Wi-Fi problem.
All right, diagnosis is complete. So if YouTube's servers are up and your TV says it's connected to the internet, then the problem is almost certainly on the TV itself. So let's start with the simplest and honestly the most effective fixes. Now, before we do anything else, it's really important to understand the difference between 2 types of resets. We are starting with what's called a soft reset or a power cycle. This is completely harmless, it keeps all your data and settings safe, and it is shockingly effective. The factory reset, on the other hand, well, that's the nuclear option. It wipes everything. We save that one for the very, very end. Okay, this is the #1 fix right here, but you have to do it correctly. And I mean, don't just use the remote to turn it off and on. That's not enough. You have to physically unplug the TV from the wall socket. And then, this is the key, wait for a full 60 seconds. Don't rush it. This forces the TV to completely clear its temporary memory, or cache, wiping out all those little glitches that love to hide in there. You would be amazed at how often this one simple step solves the entire problem.
So, what if that didn't work? If you're still seeing the error, don't worry, no problem at all. The very next place we're going to look is the YouTube app itself, and then the TV's system software. Sometimes the issue is just a simple compatibility problem between the app on your TV and YouTube servers. So head into your TV's app section, find YouTube, and if you see an update button, go ahead and select it. Honestly, keeping your apps current is just good smart TV maintenance anyway. All right, if updating didn't do the trick, let's give the app a completely fresh start. The next step is to reinstall it. So, from that same app screen, go to Settings, select the YouTube app, and look for a Delete option. Now, on Samsung TVs, some of these core apps like YouTube can't actually be deleted. If Delete is grayed out, you'll see a Reinstall option instead. That does a pretty similar job of clearing out all the old corrupted data. Just remember, after you do this, you will need to sign back into your Google account. Okay, so we've looked at the app. Now let's look at the TV's brain, its operating system, which for Samsung is called Tizen OS. Go back to your main settings, then to Support, and select Software Update. If there's an update available, just choose Update Now.
These updates often include really important bug fixes that can solve exactly this kind of weird app problem.
All right, so if you've done all of that and you are still seeing that network error, it's time to bring out the heavy artillery. These are the more advanced fixes. They're powerful, but they are a little more involved.
Just a quick heads up though, these next couple of fixes will reset some parts of your TV. That means you're going to have to log back into your apps and maybe reconfigure a few settings. So do yourself a favor and make sure you have your passwords ready to go. First up, we're going to try resetting the Smart Hub. Think of this as a refresh for your TV's entire app system. It can clear out some really stubborn glitches. Now, the menu path is a little different depending on how new your TV is, so just follow the one on screen that matches your model. You'll probably be asked for a PIN, and the default for that is almost always just 4 zeros, 0000. Okay, before we get to our next trick, let's quickly talk about something called DNS. The easiest way to think about it is like the internet's phone book. It's the system that translates a human-friendly name, like youtube.com, into a computer-friendly IP address that your TV actually uses to connect. The thing is, sometimes the default phone book that your internet provider gives you can be slow or just have issues. The good news? We can easily tell your TV to use a different, better one.
And this is a really powerful trick. We're going to manually tell your TV to use Google's public DNS server instead of the one from your internet provider. Google's is famously fast and super reliable. So you're going to navigate to your IP settings, change the DNS setting to enter manually, and then for the DNS server, just type in 8.8.8.8. Hit OK, save the settings, and then restart your TV. This one little change can solve a whole host of really strange network problems.
And if all of that has failed and you're still stuck, we have arrived at the final, ultimate solution, the factory reset. This will almost certainly fix the problem. I mean, it returns the TV to the exact state it was in when you first took it out of the box. But, and this is a big but, be warned, it erases everything. All your apps, all your accounts, all your picture settings, gone. This truly is the last resort.
Okay, so let's recap the game plan here. These are your key takeaways. First, always check if YouTube is down for everyone before you do a single thing. Second, your best friend and your very first step should always be that simple 60-second power cycle, unplugging it from the wall. Third, keep everything updated, both your apps and your TV software. And finally, don't be afraid to try those more advanced fixes, like changing your DNS, before you even think about hitting that nuclear option, the factory reset. And there you have it. You are now fully equipped to solve this super common, super frustrating problem. No more pulling your hair out. Now you just have a clear, logical path to getting your stream back online. And remember, most of the time, the solution is going to be in those first few simple steps. Which, it kind of leaves us with a final thought. As all our devices get smarter, does fixing them require us to get a little smarter too? As you just saw, a little bit of knowledge about how these things actually work, well, it goes a long, long way in taking back control. Thanks for joining this explainer.